Thank you for visiting yourlocalnote.com. My name is Mike Stringer, joined by RJ McKay. It's time again for another featured podcast, and this week we welcome in Morning River Band. They are Americana country act from Philadelphia, and they're here to talk about their latest album called To Suzie. But before that, let me remind you that you can download our free iPhone and Android apps, and with those apps you can listen to our YLN radio station, which plays only music from the Philadelphia area. That's it, and it's free. So just go to their stores and search YLN, and you have it right there with you wherever you are. And while you're listening to this podcast, just look around the site. We have our concert calendar where you can check out all the upcoming shows, as well as our music news section. And, of course, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. We're at Your Local Note. All right, enough about us. Let's talk about the Morning River Band. They are here to talk about their latest album, To Suzie. So we will begin with a song off of that release. It's called Broken Hearted Man. We have Morning River Band here on yourlocalnote.com.
Wedding vow means nothing.
That is Broken Hearted Man. They are Morning River Band. You're listening to yourlocalnote.com. Gentlemen, welcome into the studio.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Let's introduce yourself to the listeners and also those that we're missing for this podcast. Go ahead.
All right, I'm Denny. I play bass.
I'm Phil, drums and percussion.
And not presently here is Jeffrey Fields. He's our main songwriter. He plays guitar, harmonica, sings.
Also missing is Arthur Herman, plays dobro and electric guitar for us.
And Morgan Caulfield, she backup vocals, lead vocals, ukulele.
Occasional ukulele, yes.
Yeah. All right. And when did you guys get started together in this form?
Say maybe like late 2009. Maybe?
I think it was 2009, yeah.
Yeah. We started off as a three-piece, and then we had we brought in a pedal steel player.
Played with us for the first few years.
Yeah, first few years, and then then he left the band, and we picked up Arthur. He plays dobro and electric guitar, and we kind of changed it up a little bit after the pedal steel's out of the picture, and
not a rough transition, but definitely different. A change in sound as you drop the steel and bring it in.
Yeah. Now, was that made just because of that instrument, or was that something you guys as a group were trying to move towards?
I think it was a little bit of both, maybe. It's I kind of feel like, Dennis, he was our pedal steel player.
Very good player.
Yeah, he was great. When he left the band, it was kind of like we didn't really necessarily want to replace him. We kind of just wanted to maybe just move on to something new, something fresh.
We didn't know what it was going to sound like once we brought in another lead instrument after he stepped aside. So transition's actually gone quite well. It's different, but
Yeah, I mean, it took very little adjusting from us, really, to kind of rearrange the songs and kind of what we currently have and, writing new stuff.
Okay, and were you always the Morning River Band? Was that always the name?
Yep, yeah.
And where did that derive from?
Jeff made it up. He kind of sent an email to us saying, like, this is my idea for a band name. What do you think? And
we were around for a while before we had a name. It wasn't like the name preceded the band.
Yeah, it was actually like a couple months afterwards. After we started playing,
that was just a one and done email. You guys, here
sort of, yeah. It was kind of like we're glad somebody made up something.
Every idea that was floated was a poor idea until that one came. So we just said yes. We need a name, so let's stick with that.
How many songs did you have written before you actually started playing together? Which came first, I guess, is my question.
Well, I think our first show was at a place in Pittman, New Jersey called the Bus Stop Music Cafe. And
it's a great spot.
It is a great spot. We have a show coming up there soon.
Yeah, we do.
That was...
We'll have it on our site. Yeah. We'll put it on the
concert calendar.
Yes.
Check out the concert calendar.
Thank you.
We probably had, 6 or 8 songs written, and we really had been rehearsing for a while. It wasn't like the first time performing live. We didn't wing it after only playing together for a couple of weeks. It definitely was a few months before we felt confident enough.
Yeah, we've all been in bands before, and we know that first show is, can be hazardous sometimes.
Dicey,
yeah. And how
so we want to make sure we're in. Good, yeah. I mean, I don't remember it being terrible. So
that's always a good thing. If I could describe it, it was not terrible.
Yeah.
Now, the first song we played, it's Broken Hearted Man, and it's off your latest album, which is called To Suzie. What can you tell us about that song?
I don't know. I didn't really write it, but Jeff wrote it.
Well, the first time Jeff wrote it, he dedicated it to me right after I got engaged.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
So that was nice. I thought, can I just shrink into the back of his coffee house? So, thanks for the shout out, Jeff.
That's funny. Yeah, bass got as red as your shirt. Yeah, I kind of remember when we first started working on that song. It was very slow. It was a very ballady kind of song. And then we kind of just it wasn't really working out that way, so we kind of just started picking it up, and it kind of became like a rock song in a way. Because we weren't really writing songs like that at the time. That's kind of a new thing.
This is a question about your songwriting process. But were you looking for a specific sound, or did everything kind of go step by step and evolve for these songs?
Yeah, we've gone through a bit of an evolution kind of since we started. I mean, first it's kind of been strictly kind of country kind of stuff, really
prototypical influence by 40s and 50s country standards. The big canon guys,
right? And now we're kind of now that we've had instrument changes and member changes and additions, we kind of going a little more on the rock side and. Yeah, we're still keeping true to the country.
It's not uncommon for a band like us to start out kind of austere with country and folk, and then over a couple of years, you start picking it up. It takes on a little bit more of a rock tint. I mean, I think we've seen that in bands that we like, and also I'm not surprised that we've kind of gotten more upbeat and kind of got to it a little bit more as 1 year's turned into 2 years, it's turned into 3 years. So
yeah, do most of you share similar influences?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, we're all kind of all over the place, I think. But I think we all kind of meet at a certain common ground.
We all have real distinct interests in terms of what we listen to, but I think we're all very much on the same page in terms of the sort of band that we want to be.
Okay.
We're not really pulling, in terms of the actual composition and the arrangement, we all have a certain understanding and appreciation for a certain kind of classic American style of roots music that I think kind of informs the writing and also the arrangements.
Okay. Let's go back a little bit to how you guys got together. Have you known each other for a long time? I mean, did you know each other from high school or college, or was it just, you just ran into each other on the music scene?
A little bit of all that.
I was thinking about this today, too. I'll start with the Craigslist because the high school thing and the school thing comes in kind of later. I think that I put something on Craigslist. I hadn't been playing. I had moved from Central Jersey down back to South Jersey, and I hadn't been playing drums for maybe a year and a half. They were just sitting in the closet, and I finally realized kind of why I was miserable. I really needed to start playing again.
Okay.
I threw something goofy up on Craigslist, and Jeff responded, and we got together, and we practiced in his unfinished basement.
I think it's still unfinished.
Yeah, still unfinished basement. Okay. And it was pretty raw, and we just weren't quite ready yet. There was something that wasn't quite ready. So a couple months passed, and then you can take it from there since you guys have some history.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jeff and I, we've been friends since high school pretty much. And, Morgan went to the same high school, so we all kind of knew each other.
Okay.
I didn't really know Morgan that well in high school. But, later on, we kind of became friends. And, so like I was in a band for a while. Jeff was in bands. We were kind of just in bands. We never actually played together, but we were like just friends through being in bands. And and then the band I was in broke up, and then Jeff was just like, I guess it was not that long after you got together with Phil to play. Yeah,
there was a quiet period after he and I had that one practice, and then a few months later he said, hey, let's try and get this back together. I've got a bassist.
Yeah. So he posted something on Facebook like, hey, does anyone want to play bass? So I'm trying to get a band together. And, I just got out of a band, so I had a lot of free time. So,
okay.
I was up for playing some music. So,
and then eventually Morgan came in, and then you got Arthur and I guess, that's the other two.
Right, yeah. I mean, Arthur and Morgan kind of came in maybe a year or two later. Morgan was maybe like a year later, I think. I'm not really sure.
But you knew her from high school.
Yeah, we were always kind of friends there. Yeah, she actually was living in Texas, I think, when we first started. And then she moved back, and that's kind of when we started reconnecting with her.
Okay. Very cool. All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to play the second song. It's called Sunken Ships. And then when we come back, we'll talk about that song and how you guys got it together and a little bit more about the songwriting process. You're listening to YourLocalNote.com. We're hanging with the Morning River Band, Denny and Phil. This song is called Sunken Ships on YourLocalNote.com.
When the river runs dry, the evening sun sets over sunken ships of regret. Your first breath is death. Your first breath is death. When the river runs dry, the evening sun sets over sunken ships of regret. Your last breath is best. Your last breath is best.
The song is called Sunken Ships, and this is off their album Between the Ocean and the Blues. All right, guys, tell us a little bit about that song. Was this a song also mainly written by Jeffrey?
Yeah, I mean, all the songs were pretty much, Jeff usually writes the skeleton. We kind of add on the meat. And so Jeff wrote the song, and I kind of think, I remember when we first started working on it, he was like, there's a song on Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me by The Cure. He really wanted it to, I think it's called Catch, I think. Mm-hmm. He's like, I kind of had that in mind for the song.
Okay.
And you can kind of,
I think that's a little different from what you guys normally do, The Cure.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of worked out because, I was kind of like we were really into in high school kind of stuff. So,
I don't think I knew that. Interesting.
You didn't know that? I think we brought that up at practice. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's what you said to me because we want the bass line to kind of sound like that.
Right.
So I kind of think, that's kind of where we took it from there. So it's kind of like, I don't know.
All right, let's talk about the songwriting process. So Jeffrey comes in with basically the skeleton, and then he brings it and presents it to you guys, and then you work on it from there?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, he'll play it just by himself with, just an acoustic guitar and our harmonica, and we'll listen to it, and we'll kind of talk about it, and then we kind of just, like, start to play around with it from there.
Okay.
One thing that's been important to the process is Jeff doing demos of these songs.
Yeah, that's
Pretty much everything has started off with basically him at home in the basement with
his
an acoustic.
iPhone.
Yeah, just an iPhone recording of the framework of the song. It might only be 45 seconds. It might be a minute and a half when he is already imagining a song. It's going to be a full 3 minutes.
Right.
But he'll record that, send it out to everybody. We'll kind of mull it over a little bit. So then the first time that he runs through it, when we're all together at practice, it's not like we're hearing it for the first time.
Right,
we maybe gave it a couple spins and we already started to individually be thinking about our roles.
Yeah, once in a while we changed the key or a couple lyrics, but yeah, it was mostly...
So you hear it individually, work on some parts, and then the songwriting process really gels together during practice.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay, and then does Jeffrey then maybe take it home and fine-tune it after that, or is it pretty much done after the practice?
I mean,
we've gone back to... we've tweaked songs that had the same arrangement for 3 years, and we've gone back and
changed it. Yeah, all of our songs are kind of just... We're always building on them, pretty much. We're always changing things.
Will you take a song that you recorded several years ago? Let's see, we're talking since you've been together since 2009. Would you revisit that song and say, you know what, I got a different idea. I want to add a twist to this. Is that something you guys would do?
Yeah. I mean, we actually kind of had to do that when Arthur joined the band because we had a lot of songs were centered, around lap steel solos.
Got it.
The steel sound is the feature sound. That's really
those first couple records. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you still want to play those songs, you need to find a way to recreate the songs. You can't just put the songs on the shelf because you now have different instrumentation in the band. You need to kind of rework things sometimes in a subtle sense, but sometimes in a real structural sense.
Yeah, and then we also had to kind of figure out, because, Arthur plays a dobro and electric guitar, so we had to find out which songs work for dobro, which songs work for electric guitar.
Got it. The 2 albums that you guys have recorded, is this stuff you've recorded yourself, or you've gone to studios and with a producer? How has that worked for you guys?
Yeah, we've gone to Gradwell Studios in New Jersey. Where at? Haddon Heights?
Haddon Heights, Gradwell.
Yeah, and Steve Paponi, he recorded and produced both of them. And we've been good friends with Steve for a very long time. And we trust him with our sound, and he likes working with us. And
he's been able to bring out best in us over time by working with us. First, we're saying the 2 records, there really are 3 records, but the first thing that we put out was online only.
Yeah, it was online. Just
5 songs, 9.5 minutes. Yeah. So to say to call it, that technically is the first release. So just to be
still studio recorded though.
Yeah, still studio recorded. I think we did that before we ever played out at all.
We may have. Yeah, that sounds about right.
So first one was 5 songs, 9 minutes. Then we, then
we went in and recorded Between the Ocean and the Blues, and we kind of recorded that the same way. The first 2 recordings we recorded live, pretty much. We just all played it all at the same time, and then later we just added like vocals and other instruments. And we wanted to include like piano and.
But on this most recent record, instead of just trying to get the live take, we recorded to a click track and actually assembled it.
Yeah,
Jeff did his vocal take, then I did the drums, and we went a totally different approach to try and really tighten up the sound and. Not just get the best take possible, but really create the song. And
right, yeah, and I kind of feel like it was a little easier that way.
I think I think we'll do it again too. I think that
I feel like that was the best method, and it didn't take much longer. I think that was the reason why we did it live the first couple times, because we're afraid it was going to we pretty much just recorded it over a weekend or a couple weekends. Or just afraid I was going to go on forever. Because one thing I learned from recording it was if you set you think you're going to get this thing done in a month, it's going to be 7 months.
Yeah.
Right.
It's always way longer than you think it's going to be.
Now you said you trusted this particular producer with your sound. How did that relationship build from when you first got into the studio with him to this latest release?
Well, I mean, we've recorded with him at different bands, so it was kind of just we're just comfortable. We just know how he operates. He kind of knows how we operate. So it was we kind of knew what we were getting into. So it's just like a comfort thing, kind of.
And with those live recordings, is there, agreements, disagreements with, it sounded great, but let's just hear it one more time kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. That happens all the time. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's unavoidable, yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing that's worked out really well in the studio, and we've really focused on this both with the second recording and the third recording, was we do all of our things. So you got your guitar, bass, drums, your steel, or in the case of this time around, the electric guitar and the dobro. Mix them, kind of sit with them, And Jeff really, I mean, we all have ideas about how the final arrangements are going to come. I think Jeff probably takes a little bit of a lead on it. But what we do then, a few months after we recorded and are happy with the rough mixes, we bring in other fellow players and friends who are not full-time.
Bring in the ringers.
Yeah, bring in the ringers. Bring in piano player who's awesome. Fiddle player who's awesome. Banjo players. So we have a kind of a second recording session that is people that are not technically members of the band.
Right.
Yeah.
But by that point, Jeff has a real clear idea of what he wants for the parts that are going to be.
Okay, so you're adding those layers to it, but at the same time, you're looking for some feedback from them. I mean, you said Jeff, tells them what to do, but have you run into any instances where one of the performers comes in and maybe changes the song somewhat?
The guys that we bring in for that second phase, normally they can listen to the rough mixes a couple times.
Yeah.
They'll come in and just basically blow us away, where our eyes will roll back listening to the takes, being like, wow, these guys are unbelievable. They might play over, like, for instance, Joe, who's helped us out with fiddle a lot.
Yeah.
He might play over an entire song, but we've also got Dino, the piano player, who will play over the whole song. Once they've contributed the entirety of their parts, then... well, let's maybe have the fiddle be the first and the third.
Got it.
And there's another layer of mixing and of tweaking that takes place after we get those additional musicians in. So that us live is a pretty stripped down guitar, bass, drums outfit. But
that's kind of one of our goals too. We kind of want to present like a totally different element than like when our live show is.
Okay.
We kind of go for like a bigger sound on the record, and then when you see us live, it's a little more stripped down. It's you're not hearing the same exact thing.
Any plans to add a larger, on stage performance?
I think we're always talking about.
Yeah, we're always talking about. Well, I mean, once in a while we have Joe Killey, who played fiddle on both of those records. He'll come up. He'll come to a couple of our shows and play
a few songs.
A few songs, yeah. And it's always great having him. Because you think we kind of are a little like nervous when because we're adding a whole new member. Is it going to throw off the sound on the stage? But he just blends in. Like he's so good. And I think we've been trying to get him to join the band as a full member. But
we've been trying pretty hard to get him.
It's just like he's in. I think he's in like a bunch of other bands. He has his own projects.
But even the songs that we've been playing for 4 years, we do keep changing them. I mean, Jeff just started playing electric guitar after playing acoustic guitar only. In our band format after the first 3 or 4 years. So things are pretty consistently being rethought and changed. It's, nothing is sacred. Everything can be revisited.
He dove right into electric guitar stuff. Like he just at practice, like he went from like just having electric guitar with like an amp, and now he has like a whole pedal board. So,
nice.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
So you're constantly evolving.
Definitely, yeah.
All right, let's go to the third song here. It's called Hangover Blues. Let's play it, come back, talk about it, and also we'll cover what you're going to be up to in the future, possible show dates that we can add to our concert calendar.
Great.
All right, this song is called Hangover Blues. It's from their latest album, To Suzie. We're talking with Morning River Band here on yourlocalnote.com.
This morning came too early, or maybe last night left too late. I'm not sure which it is right now, but it's painful either way. Whiskey kept me company when all my friends had gone, but I passed out cold next to the bed, and now I'm staring at the dawn. That bourbon done me dirty, the whiskey burned my nose. Not quite as bad as you burned me, but it's getting mighty close. You think I learned my lesson from all mama said a lady should never drink alone. Well, I guess I'm not much of a lady then, 'cause this bar stool feels like home. That bourbon done me dirty, the whiskey burned my nose. Not quite as bad as you burned me, but it's getting mighty close. You think I learned my lesson from all this morning's pain, but now I'm waiting for 5 o'clock so I can do it all again.
That is Hangover Blues. They are Morning River Band, and you're listening to yourlocalnote.com. I think I have a pretty good idea, but just tell us about Hangover Blues, what it's about, and how it was written.
Well, all the credit to this one goes to Morgan.
Yeah. Morgan, this is one of the only songs that Jeff didn't start, like, the songwriting process. Like, she wrote it on a ukulele and presented it to us at practice once, and, you know.
It's different than all the other songs, but it's just a great song. It gets
a huge response at every show.
It does get a great response.
Yeah.
Did she write all the lyrics? Was there any input?
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure
These are her. These are all Morgan's lyrics. Yep.
Yeah, all Morgan's lyrics.
Excellent.
Yeah. I mean, it's very. I mean, the songwriting is very basic, and it's like so simple. It's great. You know,
Right.
it's kind of
right. A lot of your songs are short. So is that is that something you strive for? Is that something that just happens? What do you have to say about
Definitely,
how
yeah. I
short
mean,
the songs are?
I mean, I think we all have ADD of some sort.
Short attention spans.
Yeah, and I think we are aware that most people do. And,
It's true. Very true.
And I guess we kind of cater to that. And I guess we don't want to be bored playing our own songs ourselves. Because I mean, you're in trouble if
you're playing a show and you've got an opening slot. You know, look at the set list. Just throw together 12 songs, 35 minutes, get off the stage, and hopefully that can make an impression. In addition to the content of the songs, keeping things going. And
yeah.
Are you a band that likes to talk with the audience in between songs, a lot of interaction, or you play straight through?
Jeff usually talks, and
Jeff will introduce us.
Yeah, he'll introduce the band. He'll just say something weird.
Hopefully. Well, sometimes you'll say something weird too.
Sometimes I'll say something weird. Like, well, I usually say something if, like, you know, Jeff breaks a string and there's like dead silence.
The amount of talking from the stage is directly proportional to the technical difficulties that we're having.
Yeah. I mean, our goal is to kind of just, like, you know, maybe say, hi, we're a Morning River Band, and play a bunch of songs and then introduce the band and get off. But, you know, doesn't always work out that way.
All right, you guys have a couple shows coming up in the next couple months?
Yeah, we have a couple shows in South Jersey.
We have a show in Woodbury coming up on Sunday later on this month. Outdoor, free.
Yeah, it's free, all ages. It's at like an outdoor fall festival.
I think it's the last Sunday of the month. Early
I believe
afternoon.
it is the last Sunday of the
We're
month.
playing at 1:15, and then
the Eagles are not playing while we're on.
Yeah.
I think it's a 4:00 game.
It's the first Eagles 4:15 game. We're playing at 1 o'clock, so everybody
That's important.
can rest easy.
So yeah, you can listen to some music and then
a few
watch
weeks
the game.
A few weeks after that, we're playing at one of our favorite places, the Bus Stop Music Cafe in Pittman, on a Saturday night. I believe that is October the 12th.
Yeah, I think it's 12th, yeah.
Very cool. Where can people find your music?
We're all over the internet. I think Bandcamp is probably one of our...
Okay.
It has all of our stuff on it.
If you go to morningriverband.com, everything shoots off of there. All the usual cast of characters from Facebook,
So you
Twitter.
can find all your music, all the places that you go, your Facebook page, Twitter, and things like that.
Right, yeah.
Excellent.
I'd say probably the Facebook's probably the most active, but yeah, we are definitely pretty active on Twitter too.
Okay, very cool. I also see you guys have a 45 out. Is this something that is going to be limited production, limited availability? And what made you decide to do a 45 in this day and age of MP3s?
Well, I think we did the online only album. We did a CD, so why not do a 45? And then I think we're all pretty big record collectors. So.
Okay.
So I think that's definitely a reason.
We didn't want to miss the opportunity to do it at least once. If we didn't do it this time, something might have come up. Or we might have then looked back and what if the band broke up and we never got a chance to release something?
Right, yeah, that's one of the things I regret with other bands I was in.
We saw the opportunity and thought, well, you know what? It's not going to be incredibly cost prohibitive. We have a little bit. Some of us have some experience with either like running fledgling labels or releasing their own vinyl in the past. So we didn't come from a point of having no information. So we had some instincts to go on, even though they're a little bit dated instincts now. But we're real happy with where it came out.
When it came out, when the box came, we totally just like sat around and geeked for an hour.
So all the songs are actually on this 45. So it's not really a 45.
Well, yeah, actually, it is a 30. The rotation is 33.
In the
yeah.
Okay. So it's the same size.
Yeah,
as the
it's the same size. Yeah, it's 7-inch.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we try to fit as many songs as we can. There is actually a download card on the back of the record, and I think there's like 2 or 3 bonus songs on that.
2, 3, or 4. Yeah.
So can people go to your website and order this, the vinyl? Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Yeah.
Have it for sale at all the shows.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you get it, the sequence of the record. The sequence of the songs and the additional songs have their own arc and are their own kind of competent production when you get the download. This is tailored to be spin it, flip it, spin it again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so so the 7-inch is, like a shorter story, and, the download is the full tale.
The arc, the arc on, what is it, the 9-song, which make up the entirety of what you get with the download. The arc there is kind of the complete arc of
so I guess
Suzie.
it says 3 songs.
Very cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging with us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
Great.
you.
Really appreciate it. We're going to wrap it up with So Long Suzie. So why don't we talk a little bit about that song? Who wrote that? Was that a Jeffrey song?
That was a Jeff, yeah.
But he, again, sends it to you in a skeletal form, and then you start putting your own 2 cents in on it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he kind of like, when he played the song, he kind of wanted it to sound like some kind of like drunken, barn burning something, It's
a little bit of a dirge.
Yeah,
There's
definitely dirgy. Yeah.
Okay.
This is one of the first ones that he rolled out to us of what became the songs that are on this record. This is a song that we probably were playing 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's definitely different from most of our songs, I would say. Just the way it flows.
Okay.
It's a different kind of flow.
Very cool. Thank you, guys. Again, it was So Long Suzie from Morning River Band's latest album called To Suzie. And we're going to wrap up with that. But first, want to remind you, we're going to have a brand new podcast next week, as we do every Monday. You can check out a new band or artist that we feature on our website, yourlocalnote.com. And don't forget, of course, if you want our weekly newsletter, Mike puts it out, does a great job with it. Just contact at yourlocalnote.com. Contact at yourlocalnote.com. And don't forget about the apps that you can download from the respective stores. Just type in YLN. All right, wrapping things up with So Long Suzie from their album To Suzie. This is the Morning River Band on yourlocalnote.com.